All right. Hi, y'all. I'm Anna Pierce, and in January, I started training for the Brooklyn Experience Half Marathon, which is a 13.1-mile race that goes from McCarran Park to Prospect Park through Brooklyn. And I was super intimidated by the training process, but I was determined to make it as joyful as possible. And the first step for me was to find a calendar to track my workouts. But the options I was finding didn't really meet my desired level of whimsy or joy, so I decided to make my own. At the beginning of every month, I would sit down with my Bristol board sheet and a growing collection of magazines and ephemera, and I would collage a calendar. I had no preconceived idea of what these collages would end up being, but rather I tried to channel the feelings I wanted to feel at the end of the month of training and let those feelings and emotions guide my decisions. I would then write down the month of workouts and reward myself with a sticker after every time I completed one. And trust me, like giving yourself a sticker after running 10 miles can do a lot. And what started out as a very practical tool has now become a joyful meditation on what is possible when you're determined and you have a little bit of joy to look forward to. I'm a half marathon finisher, and the practice of collaging a calendar still continues. So.
Hi, everyone. My name is Eric, and I want to say the cherry blossoms are a sight to see at the Brooklyn Botanical Garden every year. Thousands of people will go and take a look and plan their trip to go. And when you want to go, maybe you'll go onto the the garden's website and take a look and see this map that they have and see which ones that you want to go. And every day it changes, the gardeners will go and take a look at the trees and update this map. Now, I'm a data person, and so I like to see trends and patterns over time and visualize data in different ways. So when I go to the website, I wanted to see a log of all the different trees and how they've changed over time and the different blooming stages that they're at. Sadly, that does not exist. So as these cherry blossoms, change every season, the map also changes. So I decided to create that log myself. So every day during the season in April, I would go to the website, check on my little trees, record how they're doing, and I made this plot over here. And this shows the proportion of the trees and their different blooming statuses over time. And the funny thing that I found was that in the first week, one of the trees goes missing. This black arrow over here is missing. So enjoy it. Thank you so much.
Hi, I'm Anne-Marie. I went from having no experience making a film to diving in and deciding to make a short film about queer friendship and my experiences in under a year. So lesson one is to listen to your childhood self about creativity. We have me doing a short film very embarrassingly with my friends at age 10, probably. But as I was thinking about my life, I really realized that I did not care about promotions, and turning 30 made me go, this thing that I've always wanted to do as a kid, I'm gonna really regret if I never get to do this, and now is such a good time. So just listening to my childhood self, decided to go out and really embed myself in the queer community and find people who also would be passionate about making this film. Now, that's really hard because there's so much imposter syndrome when you're doing something for the first time, and especially bringing in people who maybe know more than you. But I really decided to let some of that go and just find community to let myself be held, to lean on them and to let them lean on me. We ended up hiring a cast and crew of over 30 people, most of whom were queer and women identified, which is just really rare in the film industry. And then my third lesson is just about how creativity changes lives and changes us. So do your creative passions, decide to make something beautiful, and enjoy, sorry, it was too early. Enjoy creativity.
Hi, I'm Aaron. And one day I was really bored. I was texting my friend. I was like, why don't we just talk in haikus? So we started texting each other in haikus about what we were drinking, what was around us, what we were doing. And then I was like, wait, this is so interesting, the way that there's this additive and subtractive quality that poetry has with the way we were texting. So I made Haiku Chat Room, which essentially allows you to text people, but in haikus. And each line that you send is equivalent to a 575 syllable kind of a haiku, and you sort of take turns starting a haiku, ending a haiku, and creating many haikus in sort of like a chat room format. So I did this with friends from Singapore, from the US. Then I was like, wait, but what do I do with all these different haikus in the chat room? Because the moment you close the chat session, it disappears. So I created and curated a list of haikus from 10 different friends from US and Singapore. I was interested in the ways that people would respond to when I started a haiku with a certain like word. I was really interested in the ways that different people would write or respond to different things when we were writing. And yeah, I curated a set of haikus that now lives in a book. And I wanted to end with a haiku from the book, which I also brought with me. So simmering fog, wisps of tom yam goong, spicy, a mother's embrace. Thank you.
Who here has lost someone they love? The reality is, of course, we know that all of us will at some point. In the last few years, I lost 4 people that I love very much. And that inspired the book I'm working on now, which is an end-of-life cookbook called Exiting. Exiting chronicles the food and the culinary rituals at the bookend of our lives. Yes, it's a collection of recipes for the dying, but you'll also see illustrations, you'll read testimonials from death doulas, end-of-life nutritionists. There'll be testimonials and prose, like memoir-like prose. When I was in Los Angeles with the woman who took care of my sister and I, Magali Gonzalez, the nursing home staff informed me she had not eaten in days, weeks actually. I brought with me a chicken and rice porridge, and when I brought it to her lips, her downcast eyes widened, and she looked at me, she smiled and nodded. How can we dignify and reimagine the experience of feeding others at the end of their lives? Exiting is an invitation to speak more openly about death, not through a lens of fear, but one of tenderness, of care, of culture, and of course of taste. Ultimately, Exiting is a book about appetite, loss, transition, and the quiet power of cooking as a form of presence. Thank you so much.
That's beautiful. Hey everyone, good morning. I'm Jacqueline. Does anyone else look at screens all day for work like me? So in the past few years, I've been experiencing eye strain, and I really wanted to do eye stretches and other ways to combat this eye strain. And a way that I found was helping was doing like analog pencil and paper puzzles and puzzle books. And then because I also do illustration, I thought it'd be fun to start illustrating my own puzzles. So I started this series of puzzles called Letter Paths, where you search for the clues or the letters throughout this like weaving illustration that I would draw, and you you decode the answer. So it's been really fun to draw these, and I've done them for some local zines, and I made one for the meatpacking district when they had a really beautiful exhibit with elephants last year, so that was printed, and I'm working on printing a book of these puzzles that have just fun solutions to them, and I'm trying out ways to make the puzzles harder. Or easier also, you know, a nice blend. But yeah, that's me and that's Letterpath, so thank you everyone.
Hello, hi everyone. Vino here. So before even naming this project, so I was just thinking myself, um, how do I bring the emotional presence to my photographs? So it happens when two things are aligned. One, when I'm out there, and when I just allow myself to soak in the little emotions around me, and That's how I took long walks, and I saw people like sitting and sharing stories, friends coming to support people, and then not to fix anybody, but just showing up. So that meant a lot. So there are two stories here. One is interpretation, which is mine, or yours too. And the one is a real story, which is theirs. So this mystery and curiosity of not knowing the real story actually just fuels my creativity to just take the next picture and then meet more people. So I just want to end up saying this. Adventure is always out there because I'm a great fan of the movie Up. So that's me. Thank you, guys.
Hi, I'm Ricardo, and boredom is the catalyst for my creativity. My muse in a way, and not in a tortured artist way, but what if I started doodling and suddenly there's a naked couple from Florida soaking up the sun kind of way. When I draw, it's just for me. I don't overthink it. I put pen to paper and let the chaos begin. Lines, shape, little strange faces. It's a free-for-all. I don't see the blank page as something to conquer. It's just a space that's begging to be filled with whatever nonsense bubbles up from my subconscious. And I usually throw on some music to get my brain wandering. And when I start drawing, I'll put on a show or a movie I've seen a dozen times and something I can zone out to and let the good stuff just sneak through. I also keep a running list of jokes, one-liners. This is very important. Anything I've thought of or overheard in case I want a rough starting point. And a few months ago, my sister gets told by some dumbass in passing to smile. And she was recounting the story to me and she says, "Tell me to smile one more time, motherfucker." That line sparked an idea and I combined it with a sketch and voila. If I've learned anything, it's that boredom is sacred. Do not doom scroll. Don't try to make something perfect. Let your brain roam free like the buffalo, and that's where the magic is. And I'll leave you with the title of one of my latest pieces. Their destination unknown and of little concern, the frogs had discovered a newfound zest for life in flight. For you see, they weren't just frogs anymore. They had transcended life and had become art. Thank you. Get bored.
Good morning. My name is Leda, and I am an art therapy intern at this really wonderful place in Queens called the Living Museum. It's a museum open to the public for free, but it also serves as a community space for folks with mental illness to create art. And as staff, we are encouraged to have our own personal art practice. So I looked at my neglected photography background, and I brought my camera to work one day and noticed we have an abundance of chairs. So I made portraits of the chairs kind of every day ongoing, and it really fed my curiosity for art as inquiry, for qualitative and quantitative storytelling, and for my background in documentary photography, but kind of different. And so far, it's culminated in a poster that they're hanging up in the hospital to encourage folks to come to the museum. It says there's a seat for you at the Living Museum. But I do see it as an ongoing body of work that I can do anything with because I have hundreds of chairs. And, you know, nobody's telling me what to do with them. So I just wanted to share those. And yeah, those are my chairs.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Constance, and this is Justin. Justin, can you confirm that you are not a paid actor?
I'm not a paid actor at all.
Great, thank you, Justin. Justin, you and I are 2 years old, nonverbal, and you want to tell me that you love me. What do you do?
Give me a hug.
Round of applause for Justin, everybody! Thank you. Okay, so Justin is giving love and receiving love, and in this way, he's kind of embodying love as a 2-year-old, and he's not hyper-intellectualizing what love actually is. And so imagine us now as adults, and we're able to do this, but with different attributes or virtues in our lives, whether it be joy, peace, patience, kindness, self-control. And so what the Ministry of Movement is it's a dance practice meant to explore what different types of movement are and how those can be either uncovered in your life. And so I invite you to dance with me. Thank you.
Hello, everyone. My name is Justin P. Etienne. I'm a New York-based fashion designer, and at the end of high school, I gave up my basketball dreams to go to the Fashion Institute of Technology. I received my bachelor's degree in production management, and I learned how to sew without taking any sewing classes. So for me, I always looked at fashion design as a sense of peace, and I used to watch my grandmother sew when I was a kid, and I always looked at it as a sense of alchemy. So fast forwarding, I always felt like it's not just about style and fashion, it's about having peace of mind in your life. And I just wanted to create a sewing workshop series for kids, and I've done 4 classes so far. The last class I've done was for adults at Chelsea Piers, and I'm just really thankful to be able to pass my knowledge and experience on to the world, so I'm gonna continue doing that as well too. And that's my story. Yeah. Thank you.
All right, hello everybody. This is Yarma. This is my creative brain on a page. It's yarn and grandma in one word, if you were to combine it actually. And I did not come up with the name, my friend did. But Yarma has been an ode to my grandmother, because similarly, actually, to his story, my grandma was the one to introduce me to crocheting in Lithuania. And I was 5 years old when I first picked up a crochet hook. And apparently I was able to finish my grandma's project somehow, even though I don't remember them, to be honest. But Yarma has been really a process of exploring what crochet can be and understanding that although my grandma did teach me how to crochet, it can actually be something different, even if I have a ton of imposter syndrome about it. But I think it's about exploring shapes. It's about also like seeing what is possible with it. So I really want to implement some yarn coutouring into potentially canvases and just different spaces. But I think we all have a lot of imposter syndrome if we are creative people whenever we're putting out our work out there. And I think it's really beautiful whenever we can overcome that, and maybe this is the story that can inspire you to do the same and not be afraid to put your work out there, even if it's super scary and you don't know how it's actually going to be received. But I think it's okay to just try and to not be afraid and to just, there's enough space for us all, and I think if there's the one thing that this project has taught me, it's definitely that. So this is my story. Cute.
Hello, everyone. My name is Abby, and I self-published a conversation card deck called Food Stories, and it's all about food. So some questions include, what kind of person are you at the grocery store? Or when you die, what do you want them to serve at your funeral? Or what has food taught you about love? So I'm not a trained illustrator or designer by any means. This project really started because I was stuck in a snowstorm in a cabin alone in my hometown, and I was very lost and very bored. And I really didn't know what direction my life was going in at that point. So I recently had purchased a refurbished iPad, and I bought a $10 Procreate app, and I just sat with YouTube and I started doodling. From there, many years later, Food Stories is now self-published with the help of many people, and I'll say my biggest takeaways are really, also, I had to let myself be really bored, and I had to let myself sit in the discomfort of not knowing and feeling really lost. And also following just the tiniest thread of curiosity. It wasn't a big aha shout-out moment. It was just, okay, I'm kind of curious about this thing, and I have a little bit of space to put one foot in front of the other and start somewhere. So thank you so much.
Hi, I'm Maggie, and that's me, the cute baby in the bottom left corner, and that's my grandmother, Janina. She has Lewy body dementia. For context, it's the same illness Robin Williams suffered from. It's actually the second most common form of dementia after Alzheimer's, but it's also one of the most misdiagnosed and misunderstood. That's why I've been working on a documentary about her, so people can learn a little bit more about someone I think is pretty great, and also learn about the progressive brain disorder. If we had known the shuffling walk, her loss of smell, the hallucinations, the memory loss, together with other symptoms equaled Lewy body, she could have been diagnosed and treated sooner. That's the hope behind this film, that if more people understand Lewy body, fewer families have to go through the pain and misdiagnosis of mistreatment. I'm telling her story using old home videos, photos, animation, and verite, and to show my nonna as a full person. Because to her, she's still all herself, a young mother one minute, a proud grandma the next, and suddenly a 3-year-old girl holding her dad's hand, posing for a family photo. I want to represent her that way, not just as someone changed by the disease, but the way she sees herself. I've been working on this on and off for years, but it's time to finish and share it. If you'd like to offer insight, encouragement, or just talk more, I'd love to connect. Thank you.
Oh, hello, my name is Dario, and I wanted to talk about, well, talking with drawings. It is going very fast, but the thing is that I usually go with images, trying to express my feelings, trying to express my ideas, and to share creativity. So how it turns into a mindset of going to like basic drawings or basic geometry, jump the wall somehow, and creating a conversation that can be like something interesting, like superheroes, knowing the city because I'm new here, and well, it's like admiring everything, admiring and how people think, how people like go creative, and well, it's just talking by itself. Television for me is very important, and of course the people I love. So just 90 seconds. It is like how the things can change, how things can be like updated with ideas, with sketches, and just 90 seconds. So yeah, it's like having a ride of creativity, and at the end, it is just a journey. Life is a journey made by your drawings. Thank you.
Hello, everyone. My name is Navriti, and I'm here to tell you about my recent work in cyanotypes. So cyan, it's not just blue, it's not turquoise, it's not lapis, and no, it's not even cerulean. It's cyan, and if you got that reference, come see me afterwards so that we can go to Prada. So cyanotype is a photographic method. It's sometimes also called sunprints. It uses light-sensitive chemicals, hand-drawn or printed negatives on transparencies, UV or actual sunlight exposure, and a water bath to reveal the final print in a cyan blue, which is this color between blue and green. And what you see on the screen here are all photos that I personally took. The really big ones are of some redwood trees from the Muir Woods, and that's a bench and a vase in my house. But beyond just color jokes, I think making art means a lot to me. I've been an artist for a decade or so and practicing mostly in printmaking techniques, and cyanotypes is one of these methods. And my desire to create really started and materialized when I started to value life experiences over screen experiences. And to flex my creative muscles, I just have to nurture my imagination, I have to use my hands and make something. And this project is an extension of that creative world. So thank you for taking a peek into it.
Hi, my name is Nicole, and I'm a professional knitter. I lived off my business for about 10 years from 2013, and I worked with emerging designers and established fashion powerhouses, film, TV, dance costumes, anyone who needed anything knit. In 2022, I was staring down the barrel of 40. I lived hand to mouth, no savings, no safety net, and I decided to leave the creative life and go corporate. And in a real, if you can't beat them, join a move, I took an office manager job at a tech company, and I assumed I would continue to live this like robust, creative personal life. And I was wrong. Corporate killed me, and I fell into 3 years of foulness. And then last year, I was diagnosed with breast cancer, and I lost a year to that. I'm fine, cancer-free. Thank you. And which brings me to today. I'm not presenting a current project because I don't have one, but I need to jumpstart my idle hands and reignite my practice. I forgot that I am fucking talented. And I'm happy to found the Creative Mornings community because you guys inspire me, and I'm excited to spend more time with you.
Hello, morning. My name is Desmond Du, and today I'm going to present about this keychains that I made that's inspired by the New York subway bullet. So each of these keychain here is handmade by my very own 3D printer. So, so it's just something I got into it like a few months ago, but the idea actually came from a 3D animation that I made last year, as you can see over there, right? And when I got a 3D printer 2 months ago, I thought, hey, why don't I revisit that project and make something, tangible, physical, right, that people can touch. I know, very original, right? And so that's what I did. And I printed this out, and everyone just lost their shit. No. But they loved it. They loved it, and they loved it so much. One of my friends loved it so much that he requested the other lines, and he wanted 10 of each. So that's what I did. And I didn't really want to kind of just put in a Ziploc bag, all the keychains, and give it to him like a drug dealer. So I wanted a complete experience. So my partner and I, we designed this box over here, right? Which I also have it on stage, which is has all the keychain, and we gave it to him to have a complete experience. And giving out these keychains, it was amazing because everyone loved it. They share a story about where they live, about like how they live on this train, going to work, or they once lived in New York. And it came to me that it's not just a keychain, it's a memory of the city, right? It's a piece of the city, a memory that you can carry with you. And yeah, thank you so much for listening.
Hi, everyone. My name is Matt Pfeiffer. I'm a mechanical engineer here at New Lab. And I'm inspired by the history of life on Earth and how nature is designed to survive. Many years ago, I saw a mosasaur skull at a nature center, and I really wanted one. But I knew I'd never find one, so I made one out of paper mache. And since then, I made a few other fossils. The oldest one is a Camarasaurus here, which is a giant orthoconic cephalopod that existed during the Ordovician period when life was just emerging onto land. Then the next one, the most recent one here, is an Onchopriestus rostrum, which is an ancient sawfish that died in the late Cretaceous. And then we have the mosasaur, which is right here, which is a giant marine reptile that died with the dinosaurs. And then more recently is a giant Irish elk, which had a massive rack and from the Pleistocene era, which only went extinct around 8,000 years ago. And so for me, seeing these creatures gives me perspective on deep time, scale, form, and function. Almost all species that have ever existed on Earth are extinct, but their design principles for survival persist. And this can be a guide for our human solutions. It's really special and important for us to understand the story of life on Earth and how we fit into it. And if you want to learn more, come find me. Thanks.
Hey all, I'm Cece Recht, and ooh, I have a sign. I'm a volunteer here. And then I just really wanted to talk about something that we haven't heard at all today, which is that we are sick of staring at screens all day, and we wanted to create something with our hands, something more tangible. So I started a pottery practice. Another thing that I have a problem with is failure and making mistakes. And so what I do is actually doodles directly onto the pottery. Because once you draw on it, you can't erase it. You just kind of have to accept it. So if I draw a wonky foot, it's going to stay a wonky foot. One problem, though, I'm having with pottery is that as I started doing it after many years, I was noticing I couldn't center a piece because I was feeling really stressed out. And so I actually had to step away from the practice for a couple of years, and I'm just getting back into it and creating these little anxiety monsters that you see. I'm just starting them. And I want to give them all different names and personalities and just say hello to my anxiety rather than hiding it away. And I would love to hear about other people's anxieties because isn't that fun to talk about? Thanks.
Hey everyone, I'm Margaret, and I'm a social media marketer turned game designer who made Trinkets, a sabotage-heavy card-based party game alongside 5 other studio mates. What started off as a normal online class spiraled as we accidentally created a game that our mentor called one of the strongest games that she's seen from a student team. It's the best and worst thing that you could hear, exciting because of the possibilities. but devastating because now there's a seemingly impossible creative goal post to reach. Also, did I mention that at this time I was just laid off? I thought I would be using my severance time to play games, not make games. But sometimes in life, you'll meet a character that hands you a hard-coded mission where there's no cheat codes available. You have to complete the mission. The mission for me was a year's worth of long nights staring at a game engine and having all my non-gamer friends tell me that I just had to read tomorrow, tomorrow, and tomorrow. Well, I still haven't finished the book, but Trinkets did release in April of this year after my team and I spent an additional 8 months outside of class perfecting it. It's a complete, mostly bug-free game that I ended up getting featured in AAPI and Gaming and Patch Magazine for. I'm so glad I said yes to the mission that my mentor set up for our team last year, and grateful for this opportunity to give a short talk about tech in 2025 that's not related to AI. And next time, when you're also handed a seemingly impossible creative mission that gets you excited, I hope you press play.
Good morning, my name is Brian Delatorre, and this is my family tree. With help from my cousin's research, I designed this a couple years ago for my grandma's family reunion. And as you can see, the Alonso family is a little grande. It took a little bit of math to figure out how to get 5 generations, 10 different families, and over 400 different names all on this tree. But somehow, I pulled it off, and I was even able to keep pretty close to 15-point type so my beloved grandmother could actually read it. And you know, watching my family interact with this tree was an incredibly rewarding experience. I felt like I created a testament to the legacy of our family. But as I share it with you today, I think it's also a testament to the legacy of immigrants. At the center of this tree are my great-grandparents. They came to this country from Mexico in 1909. They wanted a better life for their family, and they planted this tree. And from this tree grew teachers, nurses, first responders, veterans from 4 different wars, artists, social workers, citizens not only living better lives, but serving in their unique and colorful ways. For me, this is what America is supposed to be all about. And as proud as I am of this work, thank you. As proud as I am of this work, I am even more proud that my name is on this tree, a descendant of Mexican immigrants. Thank you so much. Thank you for Creative Mornings.
Hi everyone, I'm Migi, composer, producer, and pianist from Japan, and I'm a survivor of this earthquake happened in Japan. So, yeah, it was a massive one, and it damaged across the country. And my dream was come to this country to pursue jazz. But then, interestingly, the scholarship from the Japanese government came to me the next year of this event. So I felt like I have stolen the money from the people in need. I didn't still carry the guilt. So I started interviewing other survivors for my own healing. But then I was surprised because everyone I talked to talked about life in the most positive way. And I thought I need to put it into music. And I did 20 interviews and I did 10 compositions. And I just played it together with 18 musicians and 3 actors. So I brought this short clip from the concert and that to show you. And next year is the 15th anniversary of the earthquakes. I am here to set myself to talk more about this story. So thank you for the opportunity. Enjoy the concert.
We wiped the tears from our eyes and pushed ourselves forward, 1 step at a time, or even half a step. I learned it's essential to embrace the process. After thousands of people helped us, we are saying, now it's our turn to spread love.
That's it. Thank you so much.